Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Jake. This is Press to Play Rewind for the world of gaming this week. We have got some interesting and exciting and crazy things to talk about this week, but I wouldn't want to do it without my buddy Forrest here. Forrest, thanks for being back on Press to Play Rewind for the world of gaming this week. Why did I say the whole thing? I don't know. I'm tired. I want to talk about this. Forrest, you'd start talking for a little bit because I'm having a hard time.
I can do it. Thanks for having me. I love talking about video games. Hi, I'm Forrest. I've been here before, but you know it's me. We can jump back into the video games now.
Yes, let's just jump right into it before I tongue twist a little bit more. I don't know, maybe it's this Zevia is tingling my tongue or something. I'm getting all tongue twisted. I don't know.
Much caffeine.
Anyways, I'm just rambling about nothing now. Let's get into the show. We've got just 3 topics to talk about this week, but they're pretty big, crazy topics. So let's just jump right into it. Earlier this week, Microsoft made all the headline news. They did something absolutely crazy. No one saw this coming. Obviously, Microsoft has been in the business in the last few years of picking up, third-party studios and bring them into their own little fold. Their Xbox studios, their first-party content. Now, they've been getting all kinds of developers, but I would argue none of them this big. Earlier this week, Microsoft announced that they purchased Bethesda Studios for $7.5 billion. This is a massive, massive deal, massive, massive amounts of money, but we need to talk about the repercussions of this because, let me preface this by saying I'm not a huge Bethesda fan. I don't really like any of their games. They're just not for me. Not saying they're bad games or anything, but I just don't care. But I can fully acknowledge that these are massive, massive series. We're talking about Dishonored. We're talking about Wolfenstein, Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, all sorts of these massive, gigantic games that people absolutely love are now Xbox first-party games. And that is insane. Insane. And what are the repercussions of that? Because that's the thing I'm most curious about. Obviously, there's a huge win for Microsoft. They're always going to have this. But these games have always traditionally just shown up everywhere that they could, whether it's PC or Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch or wherever they could go, that's where they ended up. And I don't know if that's going to keep happening. Obviously, Microsoft wants these. They made this purchase for the first-party nature of it. They want people to get the Xbox Series S and X, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because they've got the games on their console, right? But here's kind of what I think is going to happen. I think we're obviously going to see this on all Microsoft stuff, whether it's PC or Xbox, Game Pass. Here's something. A lot of these games are probably going to show up on Game Pass. So just make that deal the best. It's already the best deal in gaming, and just sprinkle some more goodies on that. These are all going to show up on Game Pass. They'll be on Xbox, Microsoft platforms. I do expect that if it's possible for it to happen, like we've seen with Doom and stuff, that I could see these games still showing up on the Switch every once in a while, on Nintendo platforms every once in a while. I don't expect them to show up on Sony and PlayStation stuff. And here's why. I could see it going both ways. I could see them just saying, this is money for us, whatever. But Nintendo and Microsoft have had sort of this building relationship over the last few years, and they like to play together, and they realize that, working together is best for everybody, and that's just been their kind of motto. Sony has been kind of, they like to hold their cards close to their vest. They kind of like to distance themselves. It's competition more than building relationships with them, at least from what I've seen over the past few years. Even with the whole cross-play debacle, it took so long for Sony to jump on board when everybody else was playing on their mobile phones and their Switch and their PC and their Xbox all together. People on PlayStation were playing with people on PlayStation. So I don't know if they're going to be like, I don't want you making money on my console, right? Like they're buying games from my console and you're making money on it. I could see there being a weird, stupid disconnect there for some reason, like somebody just having a hissy fit about it. I could very well see that happen. I could see it going both ways, but that's my kind of prediction right now. Obviously, there are games already currently slated for the PlayStation. There's some Bethesda games that have even time exclusivity on the PlayStation 5. And Microsoft is classy as hell, and they're like, yeah, we're going to honor that. That exclusive window is yours, but after that, it's ours. So very, very interesting. I don't know how this is going to really pan out, but huge, massive, cannot overstate the win for Microsoft here. Forrest, what were your thoughts and feelings when you saw that Microsoft purchased Bethesda?
I had to double take, man. That was the most the crazy news. That just we bought them for how much money? Oh, that much money. Okay, that's a huge investment. And I think they trust that it's going to pay off for them. I did hear that they said that already announced games that are coming, if it's already been announced it's coming to PlayStation, whatever, those are still going to happen. So if you had something in mind that you were thinking about, still going to happen. You don't have to worry about that. But Microsoft's making money off that now. So that's good choice there. So even if you buy it on PlayStation 4 or 5 or whatever you get it for, they're still making money off that. On the flip side, everything's coming to Game Pass, most everything, which is super exciting. I'm a huge fan of Doom, the Doom series, Doom and Doom Eternal. Even the older ones are super great. So I think Doom is now back on Game Pass, and I think Doom Eternal will be coming to it. Fallout, amazing game. So those are all, and then Elder Scrolls. And I don't think the new one, the Elder Scrolls 6, has been announced for any consoles. So I think that one in the future is going to be Xbox only, which is a very smart move on their part.
Heck yeah.
So it's super cool to see that they pulled them in. It's I think it's what these companies want. It's nice when you have independent companies, but I think the end goal is if a big game developer or the console owner themselves wants to buy you and make you into their little thing, feed you money to build games, and they trust you, then it's the end goal. But I like what you said about PlayStation being very competitive over trying to give play together kind of thing, because especially with the whole Avengers Spider-Man thing, where they went, he's exclusive to this console.
Yeah. And
I think Xbox is like, oh, that's fine. We'll just take Elder Scrolls in the future and any Fallout future titles. We'll do that. So yeah, I love the Game Pass. It's something that has been a great investment, because just the other day there's a game I've been looking at, maybe getting on my computer, playing a little bit. I tried it on Game Pass, didn't fall in love with it, and went, that's okay. I can uninstall it and just play a different game. So it's been a great choice for them. And the announcement of this, they get so many. Bethesda has so many titles. They've got, Rage. They've got Prey, Wolfenstein. They've got that new Ghostwire Tokyo game that's coming in the future, which interested me. And now I know where I can get it and where I can try it out. So crazy, man. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, you know what? Let's pause this one for now and just move on to the next thing. So first of all, what do you guys think about Microsoft buying Bethesda? Because obviously we both think it's exciting, crazy out there. Who knew this was going to happen? Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody saw this coming. What do you guys think about the news? Let us know in the comments below. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit, because we're still in the Microsoft world here, still in the Xbox world. For us, recently we talked about, Halo Infinite just got delayed. Mm-hmm. Is that going to sway people's decision on what console they're going to pick up? Things like that. When are these going to come out? Do they have the first party content? I even said I'm a Microsoft guy over a Sony guy any day of the week. But even I said, the games that Sony's been showing are more impressive to me right now than the games that Xbox is showing. Yeah. And I don't think it was a coincidence that they announced this gigantic thing a day or two before the Xbox Series X and S pre-orders went up. Yeah. So that's kind of my weird little segue into let's talk about the Xbox pre-orders, shall we? Because, Forrest, I would like to hear your story about this in a minute. But what an absolute shit show that was. They kept saying, September 22nd, Tuesday, this time it's going to be, you could put in your location and get the exact time and the exact retailers you could get it from. And I'm like, this is wonderful. They're really doing a great job letting us know when we can get our pre-orders. Unlike Sony last week, who just said it'll come tomorrow and actually dropped it right now, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, that's going to piss people off. That's awful, shitty, yikes. So I was hoping this was going to go smoothly. My wife and I both had Target up, Amazon up, GameStop up, Best Buy, Walmart up. We had all of those up, page ready to go, ready to reload right at the time and jump into it, right? And all of them crashed. Every single website had an issue. You know, at Target, I got on right away, add to the cart. It says it's in the cart. I go to the cart, nothing in the cart. Go back, add to the cart, your cart's full. What? So I'm like, okay, well, screw this. Jump over to Walmart, add it to the cart, go to purchase it, put it all in. It's actually sold out. I'm like, well, son of a bitch, why'd you let me put it in the cart? Best Buy. Well, it's coming soon. Refresh.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
I can talk about that, yeah.
And then Amazon sold out right away, whatever. But GameStop, I sat, you know, I had assumed they had all sold out by the time, you know, I had left GameStop up because GameStop, I kept refreshing and eventually I ended up in a weird queue. You know, it put up a whole loading screen with the queue and it, what was I? Oh, and I accidentally refreshed it once and I was like, shit, because I read don't refresh it. Because the first time I saw it, I thought it was a glitch of some kind. And I knew it was all sold out, but I left it up for 7 hours before I finally got in to the website. It just kept me on the queue for like 7 hours, and then it let me in, and it let me go to the Xbox, and it was sold out. And I'm like, well, son of a bitch, what is the queue for?
Imagine.
Why couldn't you tell me where I was in the queue? No, I must say, we did end up, between the two of us, we ended up securing one Series S, because we really wanted the Xbox Series X and a Series S. We got a Series S. We'd like to get an X eventually, but we got one ordered through Microsoft. That was the one glowing thing that happened in that day, is we managed to get a Series S. But that was an absolute ride, and I was positive we just weren't getting it. You know, all of the websites completely crashed, and I don't understand how in 2020, after we've seen big movie theater events and big releases and whatever for how long now, and every single time the infrastructure just fails. We're talking about Amazon. Amazon is one of the most huge money-making companies in the world. They got billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, and on one day you couldn't boost that a little bit so everything didn't crash. That was just a very frustrating experience. I've seen a lot of people really frustrated about it. A lot of people didn't get these things. A lot of people are getting their stuff canceled now. Forrest, what was your pre-order story like? Did you even try to pre-order it? And did you succeed?
I didn't try to. Because I was like, I don't know if I have to put it all in now. I don't really want to. I want these consoles, but I'm not one to buy them right away. As much as I want them, there's usually defects right away or some kind of issues. So I like to wait it out a little bit. Sometimes I'll, just throw my money in and just go for it. But yeah, I didn't even try with this. I didn't try with the PS5 either. I did see Xbox, Microsoft was poking fun at PlayStation, like, oh, we'll tell you exactly when it comes out. We're not going to change anything.
Better.
Like, yeah, PlayStation didn't. They just, that was a whole thing. And I think they saw that and went, okay, so we're not going to do something like that. We're not going to do anything early. I wouldn't put all the blame on like the availability and try to order that on Microsoft or Xbox themselves. I think that this is I think especially with the Bethesda purchase, that, I saw a lot of people's reaction online. This pretty much sealed the deal that I want to get an Xbox now instead. So I think that swayed a lot of people's mind, and there was just more demand than these retailers could handle. So yeah, I think, I'm personally I like to collect toys, so I like Hasbro Pulse. They just had their Pulse Con, so I and Funko, that kind of thing. They have those releases that it's like you gotta get in right away, and sometimes you don't even get it. So I'm used to the disappointment. I understand how it feels to go through like it's in my cart and I don't have it, or you get it, you order it, you're sweet, and then they email you and go, it's canceled because we don't have enough, and you're like, But this is one of those things that it's brand new. It's coming out. It's not like a limited release where you get it or you don't. So I think, if you didn't get it, as frustrating as it is, a little patience and you'll be able to get it. It's cool to hear that you got a Series S confirmed there.
I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, I kind of want the Series X because it's a little more powerful, and I'd like the disc because I have a lot of Xbox One X discs that I want to continue using. Which I don't know if you heard that news too, but a lot of people ordered the One X instead of pre-ordering the Series X, which little blame on Microsoft for the naming convention. I mean, they saw the Wii and the Wii U, how well that worked. So you would think they would have learned from something like that. But yeah, so it's something I want to get both the PS5 and a Series X. But I don't want to throw $1,000 away right away. So I'll wait it out and get them when I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. I mean, if stock runs out, especially, I know everybody is struggling with the whole pandemic and everything. People, like, production is hard. Sony themselves said, we are taking a hit on the amount that we thought we would be able to provide. We just can't provide that much. So limited availability, I don't mind. My bigger frustration is with the retailers and how massive these are, and how I can't wrap my head around. I know a lot of traffic is coming, but how do you not improve it at all? Like, it feels like every single time something happens like this, like, I would have been able to get both if I wanted both, if the websites didn't completely glitch out and crash on me, right?
Yeah.
And that is so frustrating, because literally in 1 minute, within 9 o'clock to 9 or whatever it was it 9 o'clock? I don't remember. But in the moment it went up, I clicked it. I was watching my little timer, boom, refresh, add to cart, boom. In 10 seconds, I would have walked out with both.
Yeah.
But the website completely went kaput on me. And that's the part that I'm just like, I hope to God, if they do end up releasing a Switch Pro next year, like we talked about, we both kind of think will happen, that this doesn't happen, because that's one that I would have been okay with losing out on the Xbox, whatever. I want it, but I can wait. I can't wait for a Switch. I need that shit.
No, yeah.
And if Target fucks me over, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
Right.
So I hope that they can take a look at this and just say, okay, we know this is going to come. Boost your infrastructure a little bit and make it so that they at least don't completely collapse under the weight.
That's
if it's a little bit messed up, fine. But either way, huge win for Microsoft again, because
that's true.
Boom, gone. 2 minutes, all of them were sold out.
They
even sold out in Japan. That's crazy.
Never happens. That's crazy. Wild. Yeah, I like that you bring that up. I would hope that these retailers learn and boost their infrastructure. A little transparency. I work for Best Buy, corporate. So I did see that the coming soon thing. Even I was like keeping an eye on it, because I knew we were gonna get some traffic about it. And I was looking into issues with it a little bit. But even I was like, oh, I'm curious. Maybe I'll look at pre-ordering it. Maybe I'll check it out. And it was like 10, 15 after, and it still said coming soon. I'm like, did I miss it? Is that what it says when it's, I wasn't entirely sure if it said coming soon because it had already sold out or they weren't doing it, but I was like, I don't think this is supposed to be happening right now. And I was talking to some people there, and they're like, working on trying to get that. Little issues here, and it's definitely the traffic coming through. I think they expect a lot and they try to boost, but it's just never enough. Especially with the amount of people, just more people on the internet every day, more people interested in this. They only have a certain amount that they can sell, and they have to cut it off right then. So, yeah, every day it's a learning experience for these places. So other retailers, I saw GameStop had another wave that came out, and then they're like, okay, stop, we're done. We sold them all. Please stop.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of on top of this, Best Buy and Target didn't even do physical pre-orders. Like, you couldn't go to a store and pre-order, which is really interesting.
Yep.
only online. Absolutely wild experience for everybody who tried to do it. Very frustrating experience.
We'll get more.
Luckily, I got one of them, but
Cool.
we'll get them all eventually. Patience, it'll all come. Halo's not out this year anyway. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's why they bought Bethesda to try to help with that.
Exactly. And I think it worked. Anyways, what do you guys think about this whole pre-order debacle with the Xbox Series S and X? Let us know in the comments below. Did you manage to get one? Let us know in the comments below. Now, we're switching gears back to my other friend, Nintendo. Obviously, the last episode that we did, we talked about Hyrule Warriors and how excited I was. And oh my god, they just announced this game out of nowhere. What the hell? And they were going to announce more news on September 26th, which was yesterday at the time I'm recording this. This was all at Tokyo Game Show, which I didn't realize was the plan when they announced that whole more info coming. I really thought they were just going to do a Hyrule Warriors Direct. This is all just a stream from Tokyo Game Show. So it was totally in Japanese, which was weird to me. You know, I'd like to say the negative part of this is when I did my reaction to this stuff this morning, and the gameplay part of it, I didn't know at all what was happening. You know, I could glean some information from what I was watching, but it brought up more questions. And I said it in my reaction video too. I'm like, why in the world would Nintendo say, get more info, watch this more info on September 26th. You can see more info. We're bringing you more in all of the English stuff, and then not bother to translate it at all. I thought that was really, really weird, but whatever. We did, though, get a translated trailer at least, and we got the brand new trailer, cinematic trailer, for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. It was the Champions Unite trailer, and I watched this, and I gotta say, I, of course, loved it. Obviously, I love Breath of the Wild, and this trailer was just so cool. It really built up the epic feel of it. We got to go through each of the champions, Mipha, Urbosa, Daruk, Rivali, before they're champions, and see them kind of thinking about it and processing. And you know, we see Mipha hug Sidon like she's going to battle and she doesn't know if she's coming back, and I'm like, these themes are really, really real, especially because I know that they all die. And it just got me really, really excited for it. We also, in that trailer, which for us, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it yet, but in that trailer we got the reveal of a young playable Impa, which is really, really cool because she was well over 100, probably 120, 130 some when we saw her in Breath of the Wild. So to see her young, she looks really cute. She looks a lot like Paya, almost exactly like Paya. Like they took that model and tweaked it slightly, and that was it. But she looks really, really cool. And, you know, I'll talk about the gameplay in a minute because her moveset looks really, really cool too. But Forrest, did you get a chance to, before I go too far, did you get a chance to watch this new trailer at all?
I haven't actually watched this trailer at all, especially if, you know, if it's, well, you said it was in English. Okay. So I haven't watched that. It's something I need to watch. Yeah, it's super interesting that they like more information and then they go, but you have to know where to get the information. It's only going to be here, and good luck listening to any of it. So I wish I could talk more about this, but it sounds like super cool. You get more characters and more information. If Impa looks like a young Paya, I'm in for it because Paya was ultimate waifu in that game.
I think you're forgetting about Urbosa, but anyway, she does look really, really cute. I love her design, and it's not too surprising. She looks like the Sheikah tribe that we saw in Breath of the Wild. You know, she's got the big poofy outfit and the hat and everything. Looks really cute, looks really cool, and she looks like she's very integral to the story. She was in like every shot, side by side with all the champions in Link and Zelda. So it's really, really cool. There was one shot in the trailer where all of them kind of line up. It's like that hero shot from the side where all of them are like standing one step in front of another, and it would never happen like that, but it looks really cool. I absolutely love the trailer. So then I moved into they had like 50 minutes of gameplay, but I wasn't going to try to hunt that all down and find it all, but I found one 14-minute segment of it where Link is just on the battlefield. He's going to town. He's in his soldier outfit and everything, the whole chainmail Hylian soldier look, and I got really excited because first of all, this game looks exactly like Breath of the Wild, which shouldn't be a shock, but I was still surprised how much it looks like Breath of the Wild. from the animations to the characters' movements to the sounds to everything. There was a part where he went and fought Moblin, and the sound it made was like like when you fight a bigger enemy, and
love it.
comes up with the health bar and everything, and the animations, the way he targeted it. If I didn't know it was a Warriors game, I would have literally thought I was watching gameplay from Breath of the Wild at that moment. And that was really, really interesting to see, because I thought it would look like Warriors all the time. So that was really cool. We got your little smaller boss battles. But his move set surprised me, because he's got a sword and a shield, right? And he starts out walking, and then he starts sprinting, and it looks like there's two different kind of sets there. He's attacking with his sword, typical badass sword stuff. But then he throws his shield down and shield surfs into the crowd and starts blasting people everywhere.
Perfect.
You can aim. He's aiming his bow, and he's going to town like this. It looked so fun. It looked so badass. Then we saw a little bit of baby egg guardian thing, which I still don't know what it is because it was in Japanese. I have no idea. But what I think is happening is that little baby egg carries around the Sheikah Slate for you. And I think whatever character you're going to play as has access to the Sheikah Slate, because there was enemies with like a bomb above their head. And then Link would pull out the Sheikah Slate, and it would stop for a second and let you pick which rune to do. And he had the freeze rune and the bomb rune. And he'd grab the bomb, and he was just whipping remote bombs like crazy, and they were exploding. It looked super, super cool. But I think it's interesting that, you might have to use different runes against different enemies. And I thought it was just going to be Zelda's moveset was the Sheikah Slate. But I think everyone's going to have it if, certain enemies are weaker to certain things. I thought that was really cool. And the last thing I got to touch on was Impa, because I'm playing the hell out of Impa. I don't care. I love all of them. It's Impa Urbosa for me, obviously, but Impa looks awesome. Like, the thing because I wasn't expecting, I didn't know what to expect from her. But here's the cool thing to me, Forrest, is a lot of her moves looked exactly like moves that we've seen the Yiga clan use in Breath of the Wild. Because the Yiga were fallen Sheikah, right? They were trained as Sheikah, and they joined Ganon. But, like, she does that thing where all the little orange papers fly out, and she teleports back. She got moves like that. She did this move where she disappeared for a minute, and then there was all these slashing going on as her hat was slowly falling. And then she came back and caught it and put it back on. I'm like, why is she so fucking cool? Like, she was
amazing.
She was so badass, and she had like all these shadow versions of herself attacking, and it looked so cool. She looked like so much fun, just a fast, in-your-face, crazy character, bomb, smoke, kunai, the whole works. I absolutely loved seeing all of that. For us, if you get a chance, you got to check out this gameplay, and I'm sure they're gonna. Obviously, we've got a couple months, we're gonna see more, but I was very impressed with what I saw of Impa. Do you have any other final thoughts, though, just based on what I've kind of described here?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm going to have to check out the trailer and the gameplay. I know Hyrule Warriors itself was, like, super cool. I played a little bit at your place. I didn't own the game, but it was fun, and you got all the characters. But Breath of the Wild has so many more characters and characters that you've really come to love. So I think that I'd like to try out different characters, but I know I'm going to find one that I really like and just go, I'm sticking with this one. This is my character all the way through. So thank you for explaining that in detail to me, because I'm going to have to go find this now. And everybody watching this, I hope you've already seen it. And if not, let's go check it out together then.
Absolutely. There's one final thing I want to ask you, because I did hear, I mean, it's not in the video I did or anything or watched, but I did hear that there's one more playable character that they have planned that they haven't announced. So we've got Link, Zelda, Impa, and the 4 champions in Urbosa, Revali, Daruk, and Mipha. But there's one other slot to make it a perfect 8. And I, for the life of me, cannot think of who that could be. I beyond the King of Hyrule, which I just really don't see happening, I don't have a clue. Can you think of anybody in Breath of the Wild that could possibly make sense as a playable character?
Not in Breath of the Wild, really.
Isn't
I
that
would
weird?
hope that they connect. Maybe it's going to be a character in the second one. Maybe it's a way to introduce them.
That could be, actually.
Or they bring Girahim back because Girahim is obviously the best character in
It's
all of
'cause-
Zelda. Yeah. No, but I not off the top of my head, I can't think of who it would be, and I would think that this would be maybe a tie-in to the sequel. But there's such a time gap that maybe they have to go to sleep like Link did. So I don't know. That's very interesting.
I think that is a spot on point because I literally I can't think of anybody. I forget his name. The Yiga, the chubbier Yiga leader guy, maybe he was good at one point, but that seems really
Maybe.
pushing it. The king, I just don't see that happening
No.
either.
Unless he's like a
Because
younger king,
what is he gonna
maybe.
do? I don't think he will because he dies. He's a
Yeah.
ghost.
Oh, that's
We
right.
meet him at first.
Maybe
So
he's
I
a
don't
ghost
know.
from a battle beforehand. I think
That's true.
It's a good point. You do bring up that it may be the king, but maybe not.
I like your idea though. I think it makes a lot of sense because I don't think was always the plan. Breath of the Wild 2 has been in development, but we know that sometime after that, Aonuma went to Koei Tecmo and said, "What do you think about this? Should we do it?" So I think that would be a really cool tie-in. If there's some little character that becomes a playable character or some more important aspect, even if they're ancient, Impa survived and is 120 plus years old.
Yeah.
Maybe some other character could be too. I really like that idea. Anyway, what did you guys think about everything we saw from Hyrule Warriors at Tokyo Game Show this weekend? Did you see more than I did? I mean, there's 40 more minutes of content out there that I just wasn't going to sit through. I tried to do YouTube auto translate for us, and I was trying to follow it, and it was doing really, really badly. But I gave up when the woman on screen goes, "I was very worried about Meg Mortar," like the Pokemon. "I was
Yeah.
very worried about Meg Mortar's nude beauty." And I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. What the hell does that mean? We're getting into weird internet shit that I don't want to be part of. And I'm like, it's useless. I'm giving up on trying to read and follow what's
the
going on.
translation's rough.
Anyway, are you guys as excited about as I can't even talk. I'm so excited. Hyrule Warriors, did you like it? What else did I miss? Let me know all of that in the comments below. And that is a wrap on this week's episode of Press to Play Rewind for the world of gaming this week. Forrest, even though you didn't watch the Hyrule Warriors stuff, and shame on you because you should be as excited as I am because it looks really, really good. No, I'm just kidding. Do things on your own time. It's okay. I will just be obsessed with this game. Anyways, Forrest, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. God, I really can't talk today. I'm having a hard time this whole episode. Anyways, thank you for being here, Forrest.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
I love doing this. Even if the caffeine isn't working for your brain right now, this is still the highlight of my week.
It's so not working. It's so not working. This whole week, man, like Sunday to Sunday, this week has just been, it's been a week.
Yeah.
And I am ready to just tap out, but I'm going back to work in the morning, so no rest for the wicked.
Yeah,
anyways,
true.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give us a big thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when we upload a new video. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Press to Play OK. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.